I'm also nervous to bring up this next story. I don't want to tempt fate, but there hasn't been a big earthquake on the southern San Andreas Fault for a long time, and we may have found a reason why.
NASA's recent announcement regarding the San Andreas Fault has sent ripples of concern through the scientific community and the general public alike. The revelation that this infamous fault line is on the verge of a major seismic event has reignited fears about the potential for catastrophic earthquakes in California. For decades, scientists have warned about the dangers posed by the San Andreas Fault, but this latest update brings a new level of urgency to those warnings. The potential for an eruption along this fault line carries profound implications for millions of people, infrastructure, and the economy of the region. Before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more updates. The San Andreas Fault, which extends roughly 800 miles through California, has long been recognized as a major geological feature with the potential to produce powerful earthquakes. This fault marks the boundary between the Pacific and North American tectonic plates, two massive sections of the Earth's crust that are constantly grinding against each other. The friction between these plates builds up stress over time, which is eventually released in the form of earthquakes. The last major rupture along the San Andreas Fault occurred in 1906, resulting in the devastating San Francisco earthquake. Since then, the fault has been relatively quiet, but geologists have known that this period of dormancy could not last forever. NASA's announcement is based on a combination of satellite data, ground-based observations, and advanced modeling techniques. The space agency's scientists have been closely monitoring the fault for signs of increased activity, and their latest findings suggest that the stress along the fault has reached critical levels. This means that a significant seismic event could occur at any time. While it is impossible to predict exactly when or where an earthquake will strike, the data indicates that the southern section of the San Andreas Fault is particularly vulnerable. One of the most concerning aspects of this situation is the potential for a so-called big one, a massive earthquake that could cause widespread destruction across Southern California. Experts have long warned that a major rupture along the southern San Andreas Fault could produce an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.8 or higher. Such an event would have devastating consequences for the densely populated areas of Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and San Diego. The impact on infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and buildings, would be severe, and the economic cost could run into the hundreds of billions of dollars. In addition to the immediate physical damage, a major earthquake along the San Andreas Fault would have far-reaching implications for public health and safety. The disruption of essential services, such as water, electricity, and emergency response, could lead to a humanitarian crisis. Hospitals and medical facilities would be overwhelmed by the influx of injured people, and access to basic necessities could be severely limited. The psychological toll on residents would also be significant, as the fear and uncertainty surrounding such a catastrophic event can have lasting effects on mental health. Despite these dire warnings, it is important to note that not all scientists agree on the immediacy of the threat. Some experts argue that while the San Andreas Fault is certainly a major hazard, the current data does not necessarily indicate an imminent earthquake. They caution against panic and emphasize the importance of preparedness and resilience. In recent years, California has made significant strides in improving earthquake readiness, including stricter building codes, early warning systems, and public education campaigns. These efforts are crucial in mitigating the potential impact of a major seismic event. NASA's announcement has also sparked a renewed interest in the science of earthquakes and the technology used to study them. Advances in satellite imaging and remote sensing have revolutionized the way scientists monitor and understand seismic activity. By measuring tiny changes in the Earth's surface, satellites can detect the buildup of stress along fault lines and provide valuable data for predicting earthquakes. Ground-based instruments such as seismometers and GPS stations complement these observations by providing real-time data on ground movement and deformation. One of the key tools in this research is INSAR, Interferometric Synthetic Aperture Radar, a technique that uses radar images from satellites to measure ground displacement with high precision. By comparing images taken at different times, scientists can detect even minute changes in the Earth's surface, which can indicate the buildup of stress along a fault. INSAR has been instrumental in identifying areas of increased seismic risk and improving our understanding of the mechanics of earthquakes. The potential for a major earthquake along the San Andreas Fault also raises questions about the role of climate change in influencing seismic activity. Some researchers believe that changes in climate and weather patterns could impact the stress on fault lines and potentially trigger earthquakes. For example, heavy rainfall and groundwater depletion can alter the pressure on faults, while rising sea levels and melting glaciers can change the distribution of weight on the Earth's crust. While the exact relationship between climate change and earthquakes is still an area of active research, it is clear that the interconnectedness of Earth's systems means that changes in one area can have far-reaching effects. In light of NASA's announcement, there has been a renewed focus on earthquake preparedness and resilience at all levels of society. Government agencies, emergency services, businesses, and individuals all have a role to play in reducing the risk and impact of a major seismic event. One of the most effective ways to prepare is through education and awareness. Knowing what to do before, during, and after an earthquake can save lives and reduce injuries. This includes creating an emergency plan, securing heavy furniture and appliances, and having an emergency supply kit with food, water, and medical supplies. Building codes and construction practices are also critical in mitigating the damage caused by earthquakes. In California, building regulations have been strengthened in recent years to ensure that new structures are designed to withstand seismic forces. Retrofitting older buildings, especially those that are vulnerable to collapse, is also a priority. The goal is to create a built environment that can absorb and dissipate the energy of an earthquake, thereby reducing the risk of structural failure and collapse. Early warning systems are another important tool in earthquake preparedness. These systems use a network of sensors to detect the initial less powerful seismic waves that precede a major earthquake. By providing a few seconds to a minute of warning, these systems can give people time to take protective actions, such as seeking shelter or stopping machinery. In California, the Shake Alert system is already in place and has been successful in providing early warnings for smaller earthquakes. Continued investment in and expansion of these systems will be crucial in improving public safety. The economic impact of a major earthquake along the San Andreas Fault would be profound. The direct costs of rebuilding and repairing damaged infrastructure, homes, and businesses would be immense. Additionally, the disruption to transportation networks, utilities, and commerce could have long-lasting effects on the regional and national economy. Insurance companies would face significant claims, and there could be a ripple effect on financial markets. Preparing for these economic impacts requires coordinated efforts between government agencies, the private sector, and communities to ensure that resources and support are available for recovery and rebuilding. Despite the challenges and uncertainties, there is a sense of resilience and determination among Californians. The state has a long history of dealing with natural disasters, from earthquakes to wildfires, and has developed a strong culture of preparedness and community support. Organizations such as the California Earthquake Authority provide resources and information to help residents prepare for and respond to earthquakes. Community groups and volunteers play a crucial role in supporting vulnerable populations and ensuring that everyone has access to the information and resources they need. NASA's announcement serves as a stark reminder of the powerful and unpredictable forces of nature that shape our world. The San Andreas Fault, with its potential for catastrophic earthquakes, demands our respect and vigilance. While it is impossible to prevent earthquakes, we can take steps to reduce their impact and protect ourselves and our communities. By investing in science, technology, and preparedness, we can build a more resilient future in the face of seismic risks. The San Andreas Fault, often referred to as a sleeping giant, lurks ominously beneath the surface of California, its potential for disaster ever present. The latest announcement from NASA has brought this potential to the forefront of public consciousness, reminding us that while we may go about our daily lives, the ground beneath us is constantly shifting, building towards a moment of release. This release, when it comes, could have profound and far-reaching consequences. Understanding the mechanics of the San Andreas Fault is crucial to grasping the potential impacts of its eventual rupture. The fault is a transform boundary, where the Pacific Plate slides horizontally past the North American Plate. This lateral motion differs from the more commonly depicted vertical movement associated with subduction zones, where one plate dives beneath another, often generating tsunamis. Instead, the San Andreas Fault's horizontal movement means that the primary hazards are ground shaking and surface rupture. The last major event on the San Andreas Fault, the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, provides a historical reference point for the kind of devastation a rupture can cause. That earthquake, with an estimated magnitude of 7.9, resulted in the deaths of approximately 3,000 people and left much of San Francisco in ruins. The fire that followed the quake caused even more damage than the shaking itself, a stark reminder of the secondary hazards associated with earthquakes. The 1906 event was a wake-up call, leading to significant advancements in earthquake science and engineering. Since then, our understanding of earthquakes has grown exponentially. Modern seismology has benefited from technological advances that allow scientists to study the Earth's interior with unprecedented detail. Seismic tomography, akin to a CT scan of the Earth, enables researchers to visualize the structure of fault zones. This technique has revealed complex networks of smaller faults and fractures that can influence the behavior of the main fault. These secondary faults can sometimes rupture in tandem with the main fault, amplifying the seismic event. One of the critical insights gained from recent studies is the concept of fault loading and stress transfer. As the tectonic plates continue to move, stress accumulates along the fault. When an earthquake occurs, this stress is released, but it doesn't simply disappear. Instead, it can be transferred to adjacent sections of the fault, or even to other nearby faults. This stress transfer can trigger a series of earthquakes, known as an earthquake sequence, which can span days, weeks, or even longer. Understanding this process is vital for assessing the likelihood of aftershocks and secondary quakes. The southern section of the San Andreas Fault, which has not experienced a major rupture since the 1857 Fort Tejon earthquake, is of particular concern. This region, stretching from the Salton Sea in the south to Parkfield in the north, is believed to be overdue for a significant seismic event. The longer a fault goes without releasing accumulated stress, the larger the eventual earthquake is likely to be. This section of the fault is also near heavily populated areas, including Los Angeles, making the potential human and economic impact even more significant. Given the inevitability of a major earthquake along the San Andreas Fault, preparedness becomes paramount. One of the most effective ways to enhance resilience is through infrastructure improvements. Retrofitting existing buildings and designing new structures to withstand seismic forces can significantly reduce casualties and damage. California has been a leader in this area, with stringent building codes and ongoing efforts to retrofit older buildings. However, the scale of the challenge is immense, with countless structures still vulnerable to collapse. Transportation infrastructure is another critical area of concern. Major highways, bridges, and rail lines cross the San Andreas Fault, and a significant rupture could sever these vital connections. This disruption would hamper emergency response efforts and impede the delivery of essential supplies. To mitigate this risk, engineers are working on ways to make transportation networks more resilient. This includes designing bridges and overpasses that can flex and absorb seismic energy, as well as developing alternative routes that can be used in the event of major damage. In addition to physical infrastructure, communication networks are crucial for effective emergency response. The advent of the internet and mobile technology has transformed how information is disseminated during disasters. Early warning systems like Shake Alert rely on a network of sensors to detect the initial seismic waves of an earthquake and send alerts to people's phones and other devices. These systems can provide precious seconds to take cover, potentially saving lives. Public awareness campaigns and drills are also essential to ensure that people know how to respond when an alert is received. Despite these advances, challenges remain. One of the most significant is the disparity in preparedness between different communities. Wealthier areas often have more resources to invest in retrofitting and emergency planning, while lower-income neighborhoods may lack the means to take these steps. This disparity can lead to unequal impacts, with disadvantaged communities bearing the brunt of the damage. Addressing these inequities requires targeted support and resources to ensure that all residents have the opportunity to prepare and protect themselves. Another critical aspect of earthquake preparedness is the role of insurance. Earthquake insurance can provide a financial safety net for individuals and businesses, helping them to recover and rebuild after a disaster. However, coverage rates are relatively low, partly due to the high cost of premiums. Efforts to make earthquake insurance more affordable and accessible are essential to enhancing financial resilience. Public education campaigns can also help to increase awareness of the importance of insurance and encourage more people to take this precaution. The psychological impact of living with the threat of a major earthquake should not be underestimated. The constant awareness of potential disaster can lead to chronic stress and anxiety. Mental health support is an important component of disaster preparedness and response. Ensuring that people have access to counseling and support services can help to mitigate the psychological toll of living in a seismically active region. Community programs that foster social connections and resilience can also play a crucial role in helping people cope with the stress and uncertainty. In the aftermath of a major earthquake, the recovery process will be long and complex. Rebuilding damaged infrastructure, homes, and businesses will require significant time and resources. The economic impact will be felt not just in the immediate aftermath, but for years to come. Ensuring that recovery efforts are equitable and inclusive is crucial to rebuilding stronger, more resilient communities. This includes involving residents in the planning and decision-making process and prioritizing the needs of the most vulnerable. International cooperation and knowledge sharing are also vital in enhancing earthquake preparedness. Earthquakes are a global phenomenon, and countries around the world face similar challenges. Sharing best practices, research findings, and technological innovations can help to improve resilience globally. Organizations such as the United Nations and the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies play an important role in facilitating this exchange of knowledge and resources. In the face of these challenges, it is important to remain hopeful and proactive. While we cannot prevent earthquakes, we can take steps to reduce their impact and protect our communities. Advances in science and technology have provided us with valuable tools to monitor and understand seismic activity. Preparedness efforts, from retrofitting buildings to developing early warning systems, can save lives and reduce damage. Public awareness and education are crucial to ensuring that people know how to respond when an earthquake occurs. NASA's announcement serves as a reminder of the power and unpredictability of the natural world. The San Andreas Fault, a symbol of seismic risk, demands our attention and vigilance. By investing in science, technology, and preparedness, we can build a more resilient future. The knowledge that a major earthquake will happen at some point along the San Andreas Fault underscores the importance of taking action now. Through collective efforts at the local, state, national, and international levels, we can reduce the risk and enhance our ability to recover when disaster strikes. The journey towards earthquake resilience is ongoing and requires continuous commitment. Research into the San Andreas Fault and other seismic hazards must continue to advance, driven by curiosity and the desire to protect lives and property. Innovations in engineering, materials science, and urban planning will play crucial roles in developing structures that can withstand the forces of nature. Policies and regulations must evolve to reflect the latest scientific understanding and ensure that all communities benefit from advancements in preparedness and resilience. Public engagement is a cornerstone of these efforts. Informing and involving residents in disaster preparedness initiatives helps to build a culture of readiness. Regular drills, educational programs, and community meetings foster a sense of shared responsibility and empower individuals to take proactive steps. Collaboration between government agencies, nonprofits, businesses, and community groups creates a network of support that can respond swiftly and effectively when an earthquake occurs. The implications of a major earthquake on the San Andreas Fault extend far beyond immediate physical damage. Understanding these broader consequences helps us appreciate the full scope of preparedness required. As we delve deeper into the potential impacts and the measures needed to address them, it becomes clear that an interdisciplinary approach involving geologists, engineers, policymakers, emergency responders, and the public is crucial. One of the most significant areas of concern in the event of a major earthquake along the San Andreas Fault is the potential for widespread infrastructural failure. California's infrastructure, while robust in many respects, is not immune to the effects of a high-magnitude earthquake. Bridges, roads, and tunnels that cross the fault line are particularly vulnerable. The collapse of major transportation arteries would not only disrupt daily life, but also impede emergency response efforts and the transportation of essential goods and services. The power grid is another critical infrastructure component at risk. Earthquakes can damage power plants, substations, and transmission lines, leading to prolonged power outages. In the aftermath of a major quake, restoring power quickly is vital for maintaining communication networks, running water treatment facilities, and supporting hospitals and emergency services. Investment in making the power grid more resilient, such as reinforcing critical infrastructure and developing decentralized energy sources, is essential for minimizing the impact of power disruptions. Water supply systems are also vulnerable. Earthquakes can break water mains, disrupt the flow of clean water, and cause contamination. In the immediate aftermath of a quake, access to clean water is crucial for survival, hygiene, and firefighting efforts. Strengthening water infrastructure, including pipes and reservoirs, and ensuring that emergency supplies of clean water are available can help mitigate these risks. Healthcare infrastructure faces unique challenges during and after a major earthquake. Hospitals must not only withstand the initial shock, but also continue to operate effectively to treat the injured. Retrofitting hospital buildings, ensuring that they have emergency power supplies, and developing contingency plans for large-scale medical emergencies are critical steps in preparing the healthcare system for a major quake. Additionally, training medical staff in disaster response and coordinating with local, state, and federal agencies can enhance the overall emergency response. The economic ramifications of a major earthquake on the San Andreas Fault are profound. The immediate costs of rebuilding and repairing infrastructure, homes, and businesses are substantial. However, the long-term economic impact can be even more significant. Disruptions to business operations, loss of productivity, and the potential for businesses to relocate away from high-risk areas can have lasting effects on the economy. To mitigate these impacts, it's important to have robust economic recovery plans in place, including financial assistance for affected individuals and businesses, incentives for rebuilding, and support for workforce development. Insurance plays a crucial role in economic recovery. However, many Californians do not have earthquake insurance due to high premiums and limited coverage options. Increasing access to affordable earthquake insurance can help individuals and businesses recover more quickly. Government policies that encourage or mandate earthquake insurance, coupled with public education campaigns to raise awareness of its importance, can enhance financial resilience. The psychological and social impacts of a major earthquake are equally important to consider. The trauma of experiencing a devastating earthquake can have lasting effects on mental health. Providing mental health support and counseling in the aftermath is crucial for helping individuals cope with trauma. Community support networks and programs that foster resilience can also play a significant role in recovery. Ensuring that these services are accessible to all, including vulnerable populations, is essential for building a resilient community. Education and public awareness are foundational to effective earthquake preparedness. Schools play a vital role in educating children about earthquake safety and preparedness. Regular drills and comprehensive emergency plans ensure that students and staff know how to respond in the event of an earthquake. These drills should be complemented by education on what to do at home, reinforcing the importance of preparedness across different environments. Public awareness campaigns aimed at adults can also have a significant impact. These campaigns can disseminate crucial information about emergency plans, the importance of securing heavy furniture, and how to build an emergency supply kit. Utilizing multiple platforms, including social media, television, and community meetings, can ensure that the message reaches a broad audience. Engaging local influencers and community leaders can also help in spreading the message and encouraging proactive preparedness actions. Technological advancements continue to enhance our ability to predict and respond to earthquakes. Early warning systems like Shake Alert, which provide seconds to minutes of warning before the shaking starts, can save lives and reduce injuries by allowing people to take protective actions. Continued investment in these systems, including expanding the network of sensors and improving the algorithms that detect seismic activity, is critical for maximizing their effectiveness. Furthermore, advancements in building technology offer promising solutions for earthquake resilience. Innovations in materials science, such as the development of flexible and energy-absorbing materials, can improve the ability of buildings to withstand seismic forces. Smart building technologies, which use sensors and automated systems to monitor and respond to structural stress, offer another layer of protection. By integrating these technologies into building design and construction, we can create structures that are not only safer, but also capable of providing real-time data on their condition during an earthquake. Urban planning and land use policies also play a critical role in earthquake resilience, ensuring that new developments are built away from fault lines and other high-risk areas can reduce the potential for damage. Zoning laws that require earthquake-resistant construction and encourage the retrofitting of older buildings can also enhance resilience. In densely populated areas, creating open spaces that can serve as emergency gathering points, and ensuring that roads and pathways are designed to facilitate emergency access are important considerations. International collaboration is another vital aspect of earthquake preparedness and response. Countries around the world face similar seismic risks, and sharing knowledge, technology, and best practices can enhance global resilience. Organizations such as the United Nations, the World Bank, and various non-governmental organizations, NGOs, play important roles in facilitating this exchange. International aid and expertise can also be crucial in the aftermath of a major earthquake, providing support for recovery efforts and helping to rebuild affected communities. Research into the long-term environmental impacts of earthquakes is an emerging field that warrants attention. Major seismic events can alter landscapes, change the course of rivers, and impact ecosystems. Understanding these changes is important for environmental planning and conservation efforts. Moreover, the potential for earthquakes to trigger secondary hazards, such as landslides, tsunamis, and even volcanic activity, requires comprehensive monitoring and preparedness strategies. Integrating environmental considerations into earthquake preparedness plans can help mitigate these risks and protect natural resources. The cultural and historical significance of areas affected by earthquakes should also be considered. California is home to numerous historic buildings, cultural sites, and monuments that could be damaged or destroyed in a major quake. Protecting these assets requires specialized knowledge and techniques for retrofitting and preserving structures while maintaining their historical integrity. Engaging with cultural and historical preservation organizations can help ensure that these treasures are safeguarded for future generations. The path to resilience is multifaceted, requiring collaboration across all levels of society. Governments must prioritize funding for seismic research and infrastructure improvements, ensuring that critical systems can withstand the inevitable shocks. Engineers and architects play a pivotal role in designing buildings and infrastructure that incorporate the latest advancements in earthquake-resistant technology. Educators and community leaders are essential in spreading awareness and fostering a culture of preparedness, where every individual understands their role in responding to an earthquake. Community resilience is bolstered by local initiatives that encourage neighbors to support each other during and after a disaster. Programs such as Community Emergency Response Teams, CERT, train volunteers to assist professional responders, providing vital aid in the immediate aftermath of an earthquake. These programs not only enhance emergency response capabilities, but also strengthen community bonds, creating a network of support that can be critical during times of crisis. The private sector also has a significant role to play in enhancing resilience. Businesses can invest in retrofitting their facilities, developing continuity plans to maintain operations during disruptions, and ensuring that their employees are trained in earthquake preparedness. By taking these steps, companies can protect their assets and contribute to the overall resilience of the community. Finally, the role of individuals cannot be overstated. Personal preparedness, such as having an emergency kit, knowing evacuation routes, and securing heavy furniture, is the first line of defense in an earthquake. Each person's efforts contribute to a collective resilience, reducing the strain on emergency services and helping communities recover more quickly. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us? How do you expect this announcement will affect seismic activity in the region? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.